Novi. My name is Dana Van Oost, Communications Manager at the Novi Public Library. It is a pleasure to be sitting down today with Ian Duncanson from MSU Federal Credit Union. Hi Ian, how are you?
Hi Dana, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
Thank you for being here. So MSU Federal Credit Union opened up a new branch in Novi. The grand opening was in October of last year, but it was officially opened in September for a little bit. And you very quickly started supporting community organizations right from the get-go, which is amazing. I was able to go to the grand opening, and MSU Federal Credit Union gave the Novi Public Library $10,000 to support various programs and initiatives for the coming year. So I just want to say thank you so much. And you initiated it actually, so thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to get that donation in and help with so many programs and things we have going on this year.
Absolutely. The Novi Public Library was the perfect fit. MSU Federal Credit Union really believes in not just opening a branch within a community, but truly investing in the community. For those who don't know, credit unions are not-for-profit organizations, and so all of the money that we earn outside of our operational costs, we reinvest in our members and the communities where our members live. So being able to support an organization like the Novi Public Library and all the great work that you do in the community is really just a natural partnership for the credit union.
Yeah, and it says so much about your values as an organization, because it really was like, you weren't even open yet, and you were like, how can we partner? You know, what can we do for you? How can we help extend your reach out to the community? So it was very quick, and it just says so much about MSU Federal Credit Union, so thank you.
Yeah, the cool thing about it is coming into Novi, we already have between 20 and 30,000 members within, a 10-mile, 15-mile radius of the branch. And so one of the opportunities that we get when we open a branch is also to platform different organizations that are doing important work to all of our members that live in that community. So it's really been kind of a cool opportunity to work to help promote you as much as you're, being able to provide some opportunities for us to engage as well.
Wonderful, thank you so much. So how has the response been from the community? Because like I said, you opened last year, grand opening in October. Such a beautiful location on that I always have to think about this, northwest corner of Novi and Grand River, which is like the happening spot, I feel like. I drive past it twice a day, so I always see the building. And there's so much more being built up around there with Main Street and all of the housing developments that are going in over there. So it's just like a prime spot. So how's it been going? How's the response been with the community?
Yeah, so that was one of the first things I noticed when I visited the branch was how much of a busy intersection that is, and how prominent that location is, near the mall, just across the highway, and all of the other activity going on in that area. And the reception has just been really, really great. It's been kind of cool because a lot of folks that I've met we're part of the Novi Chamber of Commerce.
Yep, great.
And then another partner we supported in Novi was the MSU Tollgate Farm.
They're huge.
And so it's been kind of cool because person after person that I've been meeting has been starting the conversation by saying, I'm a Spartan.
Yeah.
I graduated from Michigan State. And so it's been cool to have that connection to our identity, and folks that have been waiting for us to open a branch here and asking us to please open a branch here. It's really exciting to have that branch open and to actually physically be here.
They're here, yeah. Definitely a lot of Spartans. When I went to the grand opening, I know Mayor Justin Fisher, he's a Sparty. The library director, Julie, she's a Sparty. So she was beyond thrilled when you reached out and wanted to donate this $10,000 to the library. So yeah, just amazing opportunities. Thank you so much again.
Yeah, and the cool thing is we're really proud of our connection to Michigan State University. Sometimes people assume that we're like a division of the university, and we are a separate organization that works very closely, and our founding is tied to the university.
Okay.
However, I should note for those MSU or those U of M fans out there that we are also the official credit union of Oakland University.
Oh, okay.
And so you're welcome to be a member, and you don't have to have Sparty on your card, although I'm a Spartan graduate myself, so go green.
Yeah. I'll say go white, even though I went to U of M, but I don't have, major ties, I should say. I will happily say, yes, I support MSU Federal Credit Union. So I'm gonna
Sure,
go with
and you're one of those members who could have Grizz on their card to represent Oakland University if you wish.
Sounds good. Thank you. So one area of your sponsorship is supporting financial literacy for teens in Novi. So April was Financial Literacy Month. And we had one of your great colleagues, Devante. He's a senior financial educator. He came and did 2 great programs for the teens. The first was a budgeting workshop. So they got to, pick a job and then like, oh, I want to live here and I want to have these subscriptions and I want to be able to afford this car. And they could figure out, through their budget if they could afford kind of the future that they're thinking they want. And then the second one was for credits in loans as well. So great for teens, going into college, looking for student loans, eventually getting into the housing market, finding, home loans and stuff like that. So why is it so important for MSU Federal Credit Union to support financial literacy for teens?
Yeah, so it's really kind of going back to our origins and our founding and even our existing purpose today is connecting not just products and services that people need, but connecting that with the financial education that's required to be successful. And so there's a lot of misinformation about managing finances. There's financial influencers on social media now, more than ever, that people are following and just taking advice as though it's fact.
Yeah.
And so with us being connected to the university at Michigan State, it's kind of a natural element of financial education that we bring through in every interaction. So for anyone that comes in to open an account or open a new product or service, or really even do a transaction, we view every one of those interactions as an opportunity for financial education to help provide whatever products and services as well as the knowledge that they need to achieve that goal that they've set. In particular, we have a really robust financial education program, including full-time financial education staff that do workshops all over the state. And so in particular, a huge amount of our content is geared towards that high school into college age, because that's when a lot of those first financial decisions are being made that kind of lay the groundwork for how you're going to interact with your finances going forward.
Definitely.
Starting to build credit for the first time, understanding, as you start to earn your own income, how am I going to budget that to make sure that as I start incurring my own expenses, I have the money to pay for those things while also having some money in reserve for those emergencies that might come up.
Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, thinking back to when I was 16, like at my first job, and like I never budgeted. I really should have learned and figured out ahead of time, because it would have helped me definitely, in my younger adult years and stuff, and just being better with my finances. So yeah, it's so important for teens these days.
Yeah, and it's cool because we have, so we do a variety of things to provide that education, because how people want to receive the information is going to be different. Yeah. So in some cases we get to do workshops like we did. That budgeting simulation you were talking about is called our reality check program. Yes,
reality check.
And so they get
a big
to
reality check, I think, for a lot of them.
For sure. And it's easy, with like the game of life. You get just kind of a peek at what does a salary look like? How do I integrate that with my expenses? And what if I have kids and buy a house and all of that? Oh, yeah. But the reality check really helps you identify, like, not just the salary, but what taxes should I expect to be withdrawn? I'll never forget, I started working my first job at Kroger, and that first paycheck, I cried because I was not expecting how much was taken out in taxes. And so helping students to understand that balance of, I might earn this amount, but here's how much I actually have that I get deposited. And then when I have bills, that even makes a smaller amount that I have to go out with friends and, spend on the fun things. And so being able to really simulate that experience is important.
Yeah, I know Julie, our director, sat in on it, and I think she had a great time. Like, she was picking out, like a fake job and stuff too, and just going through the process with the kids and, experiencing kind of what they were going through as well. So yeah, it was a great learning opportunity for everyone. So thank you so much for providing those.
Yeah, and one other plug I'll make. So we have those in-person sessions that we can do, and for folks that are interested in requesting those, we have a spot on our website. You can go under the resources tab at MSUFCU.org and go to financial education and submit a request if you have a group that you'd like us to come out and do those workshops with.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Additionally, we have a whole online program.
I was going to ask if you had like videos and different tests or anything like online that people could do.
So specifically at that high school to college age, we have a program called Financial 4.0. Financial 4.0 is a mobile app and website where we have blogs that come out weekly, there's videos, there's contests and quizzes, and there are actual seminars that we host each semester that are just 30-minute quick. You can drop in, get a little content, ask some questions of one of our financial educators, and we do them both in the fall and spring semesters.
Okay.
So that is just a really great resource that's free for anyone. You don't have to be a member of the credit union to join or participate. Although, of course, we'd love you to join. And then for our adult audience, we have a seminar series that we do year-round that many of them are hosted virtually.
Okay.
And so if you go to msufcu.org and then our seminars and events page, they're listed out there and you can register for them and join them at your leisure, covering everything from the basics of credit and budgeting all the way through to starting a business, because we have business accounts and services, and then thinking nearing the end of career when you're looking at retirement planning, estate planning, some of those things that are a little bit more difficult sometimes to understand or plan for, and sometimes even difficult to talk about.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we're bringing in experts to help people prepare for those situations at any stage in life. And then the cool thing is for the virtual ones, we record all those and post them on our YouTube channel.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh. So just going back to like investing in the community, you're not just a credit union, you're also investing back and teaching people from all ages, from the teens all the way up to retirement age. So yeah, just really giving back to the community and making sure that people are informed to make good decisions and have a good, healthy financial life, I should say. Something like that. Yeah. So on the opposite side, like we were talking about with the teen financials, you're also supporting another program, which is our Summer Song Fest series, which is our biggest concert series of the year. We host it at Paradise Park in Novi, which is on Grand River. So right down the road from MSU Federal Credit Union. So go to the bank or go to the credit union and then come down and come to Summer Song Fest. For those of you at home, if you want to register for any of our Song Fest events, they run from June until August, 6:30 p.m. You can go to novilibrary.org/songfest. And you're going to actually be at a couple of those events. So the first one is on July 24th, which is Magic Bus, which is a huge one. They're a Woodstock tribute band. Really popular last year. I think they had like over 400 people in attendance. It was jam-packed. And then the last one of this series is August 28th, which is Motor City Soul, also hugely important and very popular, in the community. So how does supporting cultural programming like music connect MSU Federal Credit Union's vision of community engagement?
Yeah, so one of our pillars of giving is arts and culture. And so we love to be able to be out in the community, interacting with community members and helping to provide access to things like this concert series that engage families, people of all ages with a variety of different musical styles. And so I have seen the Magic Bus before, and they're so much fun and very different from
Motor City Soul. We've got Vanessa Carr, and she's like a Broadway, Las Vegas style performer. So yeah, we get a lot of different genres and different tastes. I think people will come to all of these events. Yeah.
And so I think one of the reasons it's important to support those programs is, number one, we want to make sure programs like that are accessible, regardless of your income or your current, familial status, any of those kinds of things. We want to make sure that we're helping to bring those programs to the community. But also we recognize that communities, if they are to be vibrant, really need to be places where people have activities to come out and interact with their neighbors, interact with their community members, and having programs like this help to make it a place like Novi where people are proud to live and work and play, come out and interact with their community stakeholders as well as other folks that they live by.
Oh yeah, a lot of people go to them. What can residents expect if they come to those two Songfest events? Because I know MSU Federal Credit Union will have a table there. Any information you're going to provide that they, if they're thinking about something, they can come and stop by and ask about?
Yeah, so we'll always have some giveaways, so come by for those if nothing else. But then we'll of course have information about our products and services, about who MSU Federal Credit Union is, and also like I mentioned, every interaction is financial education. So if you have financial questions, want to just compare products and services to what you currently have, we'll be there to talk about that, as well as the great work that we do here in Novi and the community more broadly.
Oh, that's wonderful. So again, it's novilibrary.org/Songfest to get all the dates, to register quickly because I know they fill up very fast. So go online and check it out. So your donation is also helping in some other ways. One is with outreach, which the library does quite a bit. We have an awesome van that we drive around and deliver books to senior living communities. We have read boxes throughout the community, which provides just free books, for all ages at some parks in Novi, as well as Lakeshore Lending Library, which is our kiosk up at Lakeshore Park. So recently, your logo is now on the back of our van, which I'll send you a picture of it so you can see. But you're going to be with us and supporting us as we go around the community and do all this important outreach and outreach work with those in our community. So thank you so much for supporting that.
Yeah, that's really excellent. And kind of going back to what I mentioned about accessibility, we want to make sure that people have access to, the great resources. And the Novi Public Library has so many great things that you offer, books and other resources, that we want to make sure that the community as a whole has access to those. So we're thrilled to be able to support the outreach initiative.
Thank you. And also, you're supporting some inclusive signage at the library. So we reached out to the Novi Community School District and we asked them, hey, what are the top 70 languages that students in the community speak at home? They gave us that information, and then what we did was we took the words welcome and read and had them translated into those languages. So we are looking to install artwork in our lobby. So when you're walking into the library, it'll say welcome. As you're exiting, it'll say read, and all those different languages. I know it's kind of a small, but it's a super powerful gesture because we have such a diverse community here in Novi, and we see so many people come through our doors, usually over 1,000 pretty much every day. So thank you for supporting that inclusive signage. Why was it important to support something like that within the Novi community and at the library?
Yeah, so one of our core values is really to cultivate engagement, inclusion, and belonging, both internally and externally. And so we love the idea of providing all of the fun things that we've talked about so far, but sometimes people might forget the value of that inclusion in something as simple as a sign that is in your native language or your primary language. And so, and when you think about the words welcome and being able to see welcome in the language that is your primary language, that really does have an impact in helping folks to feel welcome as they're entering the library. And then the word read, of course, is, it's pretty perfect if you think about it, having the word read in all these different languages and being able to read. I know a lot of folks like to see how do you translate this word into another language, and so there's that kind of fun piece. But there really is that inclusion of feeling like you belong and feeling like there's something there for you. Even if English isn't your primary language.
Yes. Libraries are for everyone, and we want to make sure that everybody feels included, that they see themselves in the library when they come there. So super important. Thank you so much for supporting that signage as well. And I'm looking to get that installed pretty soon, so we'll be in touch. And I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's all done and designed.
It's really exciting. It also makes me think about one of the things that MSUFCU has really been at the forefront in that inclusion space is also looking at how we can provide language or reduce language barriers for financial services. because we have members that speak all different languages as well. And so a couple cool things that we actually have a program for bilingual employees that can provide service or translation if they're not in the specific frontline area. They can help provide translation for members that speak another language.
That's wonderful.
We've translated many of our documents and disclosures into additional languages. And then also we have a partner, TransPerfect, that can do live real-time translation on phone calls with members who might come in and have a language barrier. Finances are confusing enough, as we just talked about all of the financial education. Finances are confusing enough if you speak the language.
Yeah, and then to add language barrier on top of that is just,
So we want to make sure that if we're talking to someone about a credit card or a car loan, that we're truly communicating in a way that they can understand in the language that helps them to understand it. Because we never want anyone to sign up for something that they don't fully understand. We're not in the business of taking advantage of people. And the more resources we can provide to make it a helpful, educational, and valuable experience, that's what we're there to do.
That's so wonderful. I love it all. Just such a wonderful organization, and so supportive and inclusive, and such a great addition to the Novi community. So thank you for being here. So lastly, before we wrap up for today, I'd love to give you a chance to talk about MSU Federal Credit Union a little bit more. I know you have a lot, but is there any specific programs, initiatives, any services you want the Novi community specifically to know about now that you're kind of settled in here?
Sure. So it's interesting. So MSU Federal Credit Union, we were founded in 1937 out of a desk drawer.
Oh my gosh.
on campus at Michigan State.
Is that desk drawer somewhere? It's a museum?
Actually. At the time it was Michigan Agricultural College.
Okay.
And so it was started by MSU employees and has grown now to where everyone in the state of Michigan is eligible for membership. So you don't have to have an immediate connection to the university. As long as you live, work, worship, or attend school in Michigan, you can come open an account with us. And our mission really is that, financial education, interacting with the community, supporting our employees. Our logo actually has 3 lines in it at the start of the logo, and that represents kind of the 3 pillars of stakeholders for us: our members, our employees, and the community. And they're all angled upward to show that we progress together. So as we make decisions, we keep all of those stakeholders in mind and make sure that we're making decisions in the best interest of our members, our employees, and the community.
Wow.
In terms of our products and services, we have a full range of consumer products and services: savings, checking, loans, credit cards. We have investment advising partners through our MSUFCU Truly You program. And then we also have a full range of business products and services: business checking, business savings, and the full range of business loan products, including startup loans.
Okay.
So we have something for everyone. And pair that, again, wrap around with financial education. And kind of really cool, one unique piece about us is that we're very technology forward. So we have several innovation partners that can bring, my favorite product that we've added is called Cashback Plus. And so you can essentially purchase what is equivalent to a gift card or an offer for a different merchant. And it has an immediate cashback benefit.
Oh, wow.
So I'll give one example. I know library. I also like to buy books. So Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble is one of the partners through Cashback Plus, where, for example, the last time I made a purchase, they had a 20% cashback offer.
Wow.
And so I could look up how much I wanted to spend and then purchase a gift card through Cashback Plus in the MSUFCU mobile app, get immediate cash back, and then go use that gift card to make my purchase at the store. And so we're helping to put money back in the members' pockets, and it benefits Barnes & Noble because you're spending money there. It benefits the credit union because you're getting a benefit, as a member, and it also benefits the member getting that cash back in their pocket.
And get more money to buy books.
So a lot of cool things like that, things that help prevent against fraud and provide unique and fun ways to engage with your money. to anyone who's a member.
Wow.
So you should become one. If you're not
Yes.
already, we invite the community to join.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So they can find you again, like I said, on Novi Road in Grand River. What's your website URL?
It's MSUFCU.org.
Okay, perfect. So they can go right there and get some more information.
Yeah.
So thank you again so much for sharing your time, for this donation to the library. Like I said, $10,000 goes a super long way at the library. It just helps us support the community to reach out even more, than we already do. So it just, it's super impactful for us, and we can't thank you enough for reaching out originally and for everything you have done so far for the library. It just, it's amazing. Thank you so much, Ian.
Yeah, thank you, Dana. We're so proud to be a partner with the library, and we look forward to what we can accomplish here in the future.
Wonderful. So if anybody at home, like you said, if you want to go be a new member at MSU Federal Credit Union, go to MSUFCU.org and sign up. So come to the library this summer. We have a lot of programs and things going on. Summer reading starts very soon, so we hope you sign up. It's for all ages, and it goes through the end of August. So hope to see you there, and happy reading, Novi.